Cristiano Ronaldo when it comes to La Liga threes. He will almost certainly eclipse that. Meanwhile, a lot of people have been tweeting in about this after this. Why do people still get compared to Messi? He's clearly better than anyone else by a mile. Talk about that Messi hat-trick, that free kick and that third goal. He's doing that week in and week out, dropping 10 out of 10 performances. I made my dog see that third goal, and he's a wolf now. How is it still debatable to call him the greatest of all time? I don't particularly want to get into that debate because we haven't got too much time. But when you see him put in that sort of show, it's cliche, but it's almost like a privilege, isn't it? To be around, to be able to watch that.
Well, he looks at the game differently than the rest of us. You know, he sees things that we don't see or wouldn't even consider, one, if it's possible, and even attempting it.
Yeah.
I mean, his last goal is...
How difficult is that?
Oh, dear. I mean, is there anybody else that's ever played the game could do that so well? I'm not quite sure.
How easy does he make it look, though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's almost as frightening as not only is it a difficult skill to execute, but he makes it look as though he's playing on the playground with a couple of his friends and hardly breaking a sweat. Let me just say, as much as we continue to draw comparisons and the tweets kind of allude to that, we're living in a time here where we're seeing two players execute at the highest level of football in a way that I don't think any other generation has been privileged to. And I think we're doing both of them a disservice by every time they do something magical, somehow it becomes a discussion between the two. But you don't get to see things like this, well, very often. We're a privileged few. Let's enjoy it.
There's an old saying in football, generally with football players, just stick to what you do. Stick to what you can and can't do. Yeah. That doesn't apply to this guy, because he can do anything.
It's a sensational performance. Barcelona are going to win the league again, of course, this season. Yeah, you take a look at La Liga standings. I know, spoiler alert, but they are 10 points clear of Atletico Madrid. They're looking to make it 8 wins in the last 11 campaigns, and this could even break the record of the 2012 in some style. Here are a few selections. So, Shaka, about that. No one will think less of you if you change your stance. Shaka Hislop, man, just rethink your theory about Messi. Meanwhile, tell Shaka to keep hating Messi. We will keep loving him because he is the greatest. Goat emojis all over these, Shaka. This goes back to Shaka saying that Messi can't be considered the greatest of all time unless he wins the World Cup. Shaka, you could change your mind.
Change your mind, you know.
I change my mind all the time, thank you very much. I know I could change my mind.
What?
What's the question?
Are you going to
Is he the greatest of all time?
I stick to what I say.
Which is?
I thought Burley was stubborn.
Look at the tapes.
Look at the tape.
What do you mean look at the tapes?
I'm not getting into that argument again.
That's a lot of tapes. The amount of goals he scored, that's a lot of tapes.
Look at tapes of what I said, is what I meant.
What if people have
What did you say?
Availability of those tapes?
What did you say? Tell us what you said then.
No, I'm not getting into that again. I'm not.
Stevie, do you say he's the best?
It's either him or Maradona.
Right.
I kind of go back and forth.
Maradona won a World Cup.
So you keep giving me a hard time, and you're in the same position as me.
No, I'm not.
You know?
No, I think being stuck in a spot where you can't decide who the greatest player of all time is between two guys is not being stuck in a place.
Okay.
Whereas you're just not entertaining the fact that he's the best player in the world, ever.
I'm entertaining it.
And let's get Gab in. May as well. Gab.
Yes?
This is where you offer your opinion on
listening?
whether or not Messi is indeed the GOAT.
I'm going to defer to the wise man that is Stevie Nicol. I feel silly trotting out the whole argument about difficulties in comparing different eras and whatever else. But when Maradona played, you didn't have the polarized landscape that you have now. You didn't have the Bosman ruling. So Messi has a far, far better supporting cast. And that, for me, is what makes it so difficult to go and split the two. But there's no question that they're out there. Maybe it's also the fact that, you know, I was younger when I saw Maradona play, and that sticks with you. But I think what Messi's doing is just redefining the modern era of football, and it's week in, week out. And because people will say we're hating on Cristiano, we don't mention him. He's also doing it, albeit in a different way, and he's a couple years older than Lionel Messi.
You see someone trying to bleep out Gab there when he said Ronaldo.
I think it was that guy who sent that tweet.
You think so? It should have said out.
Dandy.
By the way, I think he is. That's.
Nobody's interested with you.
Nobody asked
I
you.
think it is.
Not one person wrote it and said, Dad, what do you think?
Well, now
There's a bit
they
of
know.
silence there. Like,
Now they
yeah, so
know.
what?
Now everyone knows, all right?
Who cares what you...
No, I can't even think of anyone who does care. I was going to say someone, and it didn't even. No, she doesn't. Sam's available.
Oh.
Griezmann dines with which players, if not Ronaldo and Messi?
Oh, the Atletico team.
Where do you? Where do you? Griezmann, of course. Apparently, ESPN FC sources saying that he wants to go to Barcelona now. A bit late for that. He should have done that last year. Fool.
Me too. I want to go to Barcelona as well.
Exactly. He doesn't like Atleti anymore. Right, Gab. Who does he dine at? Which table?
No, he's at the same table as Messi and Cristiano. I'm sorry, Griezmann. You can be you're not even the best of the rest. You're one of the best at the rest. You can dine at a table with Eden Hazard and Kylian Mbappe and Neymar and those guys, but you're not getting into the Messi Cristiano table. Sorry.
No.
Agreed. That's a table for
Yes,
two.
agreed.
A table for two.
Table
them
for two.
Agree with Gab.